Mi gente, it's your boy here, Jose, and we're going to talk some Green Lantern. God damn it, Kev, I messed up. Can you start over again, please? God.
Get out of here, Ace. Let the OG Green Lantern fans handle this.
What?
Maybe we'll go to the music now. There in internet land. Welcome to Geeks at the Nerd Table. I am Mike Berry, your host for the evening. I am joined by my John Stewart, Jose Torres of Baby Gorilla Comics. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm trying to fill those shoes. You know, you're leaving me some big shoes, brother, and I'm trying to fulfill them.
I am the first guest made host, okay? Just remember that. Oh man, so Lanterns episode 2. Holy smokes, dude. This HBO, there's a prestige to HBO for sure. And it started with Penguin, it continued with Peacemaker, and now we are in episode 2 of Lanterns, and it is still next level.
It's still going strong. Like, James Gunn knows what he's doing. Like, this Supergirl was a flop, but this gives you some hope for what's going and the storytelling. I love where they're going with the story, and it's ripped from the comic book. I think me and Mike have a different opinion of what's going to happen, which is fun. But I'm loving the storytelling. There's one thing I didn't notice during this episode that I love, that it was just like James Gunn giving you a big FU. When they showed the suits from the closet, when they showed them in the preview and they were orange and they were green in the actual episode, do you think that was done as a let's fix this mistake, or that was intended?
I think there may have been some color correction there for sure.
Okay. All right.
I think maybe it was, and then he did hear some of the backlash, and maybe they turn that green dial up a little bit more.
I would like to think that James Gunn was like,
Speaking of a big middle finger, we start the episode off with John Stewart laying in bed, and Hal just throws a bucket of water on his face. And this is the first time we really see John like rattled, because he is shocked awake and he is like taken out of his element and completely, F this, what the F are you doing? Like, I don't think he cursed that much in the first episode.
No. He did. He cursed a lot, but it was just saying sir. Because, sir didn't sound like sir to me. No, he's a big dude. Like, they must have no fear to want to fight each other, because it's ridiculous how, like, he should have punched Hal Jordan in the face like 50 times in the first episode, and like 100 times in this episode, especially when they went outside and he gave him the ring and he tells him to fly, and he closes his eyes and he's trying.
Yeah, he's just like, just fly.
Fly. It's easy. It's so easy to do.
We are shown, we don't quite realize it at first, but we are shown the complete difference between Hal Jordan's philosophy and John Stewart's philosophy. Hal Jordan is a very just go get it done, and John Stewart is a thinker. He's an architect.
He is very critical thinker.
Yes.
He must be a Virgo. Just saying.
And Hal Jordan must be a Sagittarius. So,
dude.
Yeah, he ends up, instead of flying, he instinctively makes the thing that flies. And like, we just kind of think it's a throwaway thing, but as we find out later on in the episode, this is kind of next level stuff. And I think Jordan realizes it.
And I love how, and I know I'm jumping forward, but when he's being interrogated and he's told that is an exterior ability, he goes, how is Hal Jordan controlling it from so far away? And he goes, he's not, it's me. Like, it's no big ass deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's me. It's, it's what I constructed in my brain. And the power to do that without having the ring. Come on, dude. That's next
right?
level. Next level. But the disappointment in his face when he mentions it at the end and the heartbreak, he's so pissed. And like, if any moment he was going to punch him, he goes, "You couldn't give me a hoorah?" And he goes, "Hoorah."
Right? The Marine Corps motto.
Dude, and he, you saw it when he did it in the bird and he took the ring off, and I saw that on the second time. I noticed it in the first watch where he
Hmm.
made a face when he took the ring and the bird was still there, because that's not supposed to happen. You're
Oh
supposed to
wow.
have the ring on.
Yeah.
And Hal Jordan, he makes a face like, what the hell?
Hmm.
And when, if you watch it again, you'll notice that face he makes, and then that callback later on to that moment in the very beginning. Just a subtle thing,
I
you know.
dig it. I dig it. And we also seem to get I think it was during that scene where Hell's Ring is saying, down to like 3%, down to
Yeah,
1%. And
5%.
and so John Stewart gets sent on a fetch quest
Yes.
to go to Hal Jordan's house
Bitch
out
boy.
in, I think it was Coast City, I believe.
Yes.
That's where it is in the books. I don't know. And we see Hal Jordan's house. It's
Whoa.
Yeah, it's
Lanterns
pretty
make good
amazing. It's
money.
huge, right? Yeah.
But yeah,
we Go ahead.
and I said I was gonna say he sends him there and he tells him don't forget to feed Ham.
Earl. Yeah,
Carl.
he feed Earl.
Earl, okay.
Yeah.
And that was so funny. But I like the way they did it where when he got in the house and the lantern was like in like one of those portals that Lex has.
It's exactly that's where Pocket Galaxies come from. Is
Exactly.
originally in the Green Lantern universe. It's where you have, thousands upon thousands of Green Lantern members, and you can't carry around your lantern all the time. They can't store them in the same spot. So they have these pocket dimensions that they just reach into and grab them, as Hal told him to do, which is, yeah, it's very reminiscent of the Lex Luthor's technology he used in Superman, but it is also reminiscent of the technology that was used in Peacemaker season 2.
Yes.
There was a couple callbacks.
But with that being said, does that make you think the her father-in-law, I can't remember the dude who's a tremendous
Making,
actor, Macon,
making, making something.
he keeps saying he has an NDR that he can't disclose who the owner of the property is. Now, is that Lex Luthor? That's where I go to
No,
with
dude.
it. Or is that Maxwell?
No, dude. You're thinking it's the kiddie pool.
Okay.
Lex Luthor and Maxwell Lord of kiddie pool as compared to what this guy is.
That's why I'm John Stewart in this scenario, my friend. Preach. Teach us.
Um, well, yeah. So we do the pocket dimension thing, and um, before we move on from the house, I want to talk about how sad it is that Hal's house. He's lived there for 8 or 10 years, I believe, and all he has in it really is a lawn chair, a TV, and pictures of famous people that he's met, and like nothing else. The guy does not want to be there. He's never furnished it. He's very lonely.
So, what does that say about me as a person who saw that and was envious as
Of an
to
empty
having
house?
of the empty house? Like, I was like, oh my God, that's gorgeous. Like, I would love that. Just have my bed, a sofa, and just a clean white house.
That may mean that you have some clutter issues.
I'll talk to my therapist this week. Don't worry about that, guys. It's gonna be all right.
But yeah, and before we leave there, yeah, we talk about Earl, the carnivorous plant, and how the vegetarian has to feed this carnivorous plant like steak.
Yeah.
And like, what planet and what sector did he, rescue that thing
That's
from?
from Krypton. That's from
That's
Krypton.
it's got to be from somewhere. That was like super cool.
Yeah, it
Um,
was.
yeah, we see the lantern suits, and of course, John holds it up to himself and kind of gets a bit envious of it.
But before we go to there, we have to go back to Mr. Jordan decides to go back to the small town and pay them a visit, and they're having a meeting specifically talking about him. Apparently, you self-righteous son of a.
Y'all talking about me? Did it? It reminded me of like my mind went right to this is a throwback when Pee Wee Herman, when the stuff happened with Pee Wee Herman, it came out on MTV on the movie awards. It's like, any funny jokes lately? Like you just take the air out of the room, you take the jokes away, and you just push forward. That's a deep pull.
It was so good. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was so good though. I love his relationship with the officer, the cop, the female, the sergeant. Like, you know, they're gonna hook up at some point before he dies.
Right.
But like the banter back and forth, and he decides he gets the call from that's where he got the call from Stewart.
Yeah, to open the pocket dimension.
I'm so sorry. You
for the
froze for a
lantern.
second. I was like, what the hell?
Oh.
Keep going.
Yeah,
brother.
that's where he gets the phone call about the pocket dimension because it needs
Yes.
he needs the password. And the password, my dude.
You caught something.
Mogo doesn't socialize. Do you know who Mogo is?
It sounds very familiar.
Now, Green Lanterns come in all shapes and sizes, correct?
Yes, I know. I know Kilowog. I know a bunch of them.
Small beans.
Mogo, why does that sound so familiar?
Because Mogo is a living planet that is a Green Lantern. He is a planet, my dude. Written by Alan Moore and drawn by Dave Gibbons. Before Watchmen, Mogo is a flippin' planet, and he has the willpower to move himself and go where he wants to go, but he has a ring around him that is vegetation and he's a sentient planet.
Cool, dude. That is like
imagine Ego. Imagine like Ego from like the Marvel universe and like that, but Mogo.
Like Dormammu.
Yeah, but yeah, he's just a plane. He doesn't talk, and the reason why Mogo doesn't socialize is because he's one of 2 or 3 lanterns that never show up to the meetings. Because if Mogo were to come close to Oa, the gravitational pull would destroy both planets. That's why Mogo doesn't socialize.
That's funny.
I
love
super deep
pulls that you know because you're such like a comic. Like I love comic books, but you're like a
Green Lantern man
is to this. It's crazy.
Batman captured me from like such an early age, but like Green Lantern hit me, and it was like that weird comic book that wasn't as mainstream, and it's amazing. There's so much lore and so many different characters. It's completely mind-boggling.
You're right.
So,
you're absolutely right. Yeah, and it
doesn't
where did we
socialize.
go from? Someone decides to play Weekend at Bernie's. Another deep pull. So Hal decides to go and dig up some aliens because he visits a football field and notice the metal detectors are not going off when he's walking through it. And he rips
pulls the car that he's not paying for.
Dude, he's such a dick. Like he's such an asshole. The alien blood goose, the alien goo that he's not in the insurance. Oh man, he's a nightmare. This dude. But he's Hal Jordan, so he can do whatever he wants.
So he decides to go to the morgue, and he opens the slab, and we get our one guaranteed HBO dick. Pulls the thing open. It's just there.
It's just a tollywalker.
Right, exactly. We got 1 or 2 in Peacemaker. I'm pretty sure we got probably 1 or 2 in Penguin. Like it's just the thing. It just happens.
He likes dicks.
Yeah, so he ends up picking up that body and he starts he brings him over to the field, and he notices when he puts them through it, it doesn't quite make the metal detector sound. It makes a different sound. And he notices this little camera up there,
Yep.
and his detective brain is definitely clicking into what is going on.
That is alien technology.
Mm-hmm.
And
Next level.
Technology he has never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And he has traveled many galaxies and many universes.
He's got
And
the
he's never
strongest
seen
weapon on his finger, and he's never seen anything like that.
Yeah. So who is funding this guy? And I'm sure we're going to get to it in this episode. At least Mike's prediction, which he's probably right.
I think we will. And to get there,
I hope we're both right for the sake of. I think
we're kind of on the same path, but the definition of characters kind of goes this way.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about what happens to John first, or do we want to continue with this? I say we're going to talk about what happens to John first, because I think it leads into why what's important about those detectors. So let's put the rock back.
Yes. And I have a major complaint with that scene. Before we talk about it, the fact that they didn't show a glimpse of what went through his brain pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like, we should have saw some world destruction and some shit. Some Terminator level T-1000 running after John's ass.
When you say T-1000, well, you should take it back to like the T-101, because
that was Terminator, right? I thought the Terminator was Arnold.
T-1000's the liquid one, but you go back to the robot one, like the straight, and that's where it's at, man. That's where it's at. So he gets kidnapped. He ends up saving the bird still. He fights through the kidnappers, and
that's so stuff amazing. Happens,
right? Like, he fights them off. Like,
he goes through this entire episode and he never loses the bird. And all that Hal's told him was, you have to keep concentration on the bird or it will disappear.
Yep.
This dude was in fights. He went into a different world in his mind, and he still kept the bird. Do you realize how powerful he is as a lantern?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know you know, but do they know? You know.
John's a special breed of lantern. So he gets kidnapped. There's a fight. Things happen. Lo and behold, there's a car chase, and we're gonna cut to they're in an office building. John wakes up again, and he's tied to a chair. And there's this short, bald guy who's sitting there, and he's like, "You're Hal's replacement?" Yes, I am. What do you know about manhunters? And looks him square in the face and says, is that supposed to mean something to me? It doesn't mean anything to me. Well, you're close to Jordan. I'm not even close to being close of Jordan.
That's how I know you don't speak human. Speaking human's not your first language.
Mm-hmm. And right away. Exactly, because Hal told him.
Yeah.
Trial by fire, dude. He's good at it. And so he's like, well, that's sad you're not, not that close to Jordan, but tell me about manhunters. He's like, that means nothing to me. You're going to torture a guy who knows nothing. And the man in the chair says, I want to tell you about the manhunters. Do you really think the Green Lanterns were the first? And he starts kind of telling the story of these infiltrator units, these robots, these sentient robots that were created by the Guardians before the Lanterns, that were be sent out for justice. But justice isn't exactly programmable, and it can be tampered with. So he talks about they got sent to his home planet, and it got obliterated and decimated. There was a Holocaust. They wiped out everybody. They became one of them, changed their form, assimilated their technology, made better technology, and then wiped out his entire planet, if not his entire sector. And John says, like, holy smokes, that's kind of crazy. Why should I believe you? And they end up taking this ray gun thing and smashing it to John's face. And he says, I want you to experience the pain and the sorrow of losing your entire race. And he gives it to John and shows him what the Manhunters did to his universe. Now, last time on our last episode, we happened to talk about Abin Sur was transporting a war criminal, a criminal across the galaxy in his ship when it got crashed, and it was Atrocitus. Now, Atrocitus hails from Sector 666, which is one of the yeah,
I'm
exactly.
joking.
But what had happened was the Manhunters, before the Green Lanterns, were sent out, and they happened to be reprogrammed by Corona, who is the guy who made the Anti Monitor, to show the Guardians that the Manhunters and their form of justice is easily corruptible. He ended up reprogramming the Manhunters, and they wiped out an entire sector. That was Sector 666, and that was Atrocitus's. And it is exactly what this man is talking about. Guaranteed. This is Jeff Johns' run from the early 2000s, verbatim.
So, in my theory, and I just think that they can use this to introduce Martian Manhunter. But I think that would be the easy low fruit. Like the story you're saying from the story is definitely gonna be a bigger, because if John Stewart's gonna show up in Man of Tomorrow, and we already have Brainiac, and if you bring in the Manhunters that you're talking about and not John Jones, like, will they still be around for that?
Here's where it does kind of get foggy a bit. They talk about these Manhunters and their ability to shapeshift. To my knowledge, and I'm not saying I'm a genius, but I know a bit. The Manhunters do not. The Manhunter robots, no man escapes the Manhunters. Yeah. They do not shapeshift. They are red robots with silver faces and blue lines. That is it, and they are always that. So when he says that they can transform, the Manhunters we know that can transform are the Martian Manhunters, which was like the police force of Mars.
John Jones.
Exactly. Now, if we get an episode
referencing one that's still here, that's the shapeshifter, and we don't know who it is. I really believe they're going with Martian Manhunter. I don't think they're going to go the story you're going with.
It can go either way, and if it wasn't for them saying they shapeshift, that's what throws me off. And what also throws me off is if Ivan Sor was transporting Atrocitus across the galaxy, and there was, say, maybe the Martian war going on at the time between the Manhunters and the White Martians, maybe that's where his ship got damaged and it ended up crashing on Earth because Mars is pretty close to Earth.
Yes.
And maybe that's where the Manhunters kind of come in. The Martian Manhunters. So
exactly. Yeah, it's still up in the air. We're still only 2 episodes in. God damn, they're good. They're so good.
So good. They're this is what I love. Like, it is total like theory going against going for what we know happens and what we feel is happening, and this is all part of the ride. And by the time this is over, we'll all know what happens, but we'll always have this moment where you're enjoying the ride and what it can be. It's truly amazing. So
I love the fact that you get to make your own story and you get to write it, and I feel like this is one of the few projects that we really didn't know much about, and that was the best thing about this whole project, that we didn't know much about it. So everything going forward is a surprise.
Exactly. And
speculate.
There's like red herrings all over the place. Not no pun intended, red herrings. But like we have Macon, who's a made up character, and the actor's saying like, yeah, that's a made up character, and that's only one aspect of who he is. So like obviously you're going to be somebody else. We have this guy telling Atrocitus' backstory verbatim. And he's just some guy. What I did notice, though, that guy has a really low, kind of scowling voice, and it would be perfect for a big, giant red monster that vomits blood.
It might be him. There's definitely something going on there huge.
Yeah, there. Someone figured out how to either do holograms or change physiology, something like that. I don't know.
And how knows? So he takes his girlfriend, his mistress, with him to her father-in-law's campus.
But that is after he asks her, like, you know about this.
Yes.
And she's like, Yes, and I'm like, hell, lady, like all that shit you talked in the last episode, and you knew all this was going down. Like
because she's trying to take control.
she sat there and was like, "You're lying about aliens. This can't be about aliens." And like she
Yes, she
knew, freaking
and,
liar.
and she was she knew the guy was in the field. She knew everything. She knew about the scanners. She knew about everything. She didn't say nothing,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And she finally, Hal Jordan decides, he goes, you know what? Let's go pay your daddy a visit.
Right.
That didn't work out too
And
well for him.
so, did you notice what she did? She opened the gate, and what does like no fear Jordan do? He walks right through that gate,
Yep.
zero hesitation. And she's like, "Oh." And then that's when Macon comes up, and Hal's like, "You're hiding something on this ranch, man. I don't know what it is, but you're hiding something." And he's like, "Do you have a warrant?" He's like, "I'm a Green Lantern." This entire, like, it got me thinking. I was like, where does like planetary jurisdiction and local laws like affect the Green Lantern? Like, I don't think it should. I don't.
Who's gonna stop him?
Well, if he had a
Who's gonna
power ring
stop
that was charged, maybe he
Yeah.
could have.
Well, yes. In this
He's
case
like,
scenario.
Macon's like, "Hey, you step one more step or one more foot on this ranch, and there's a sniper over there who will shoot you." And he's like,
And
"You
sure
can't do
enough,
that." Can you do that? Uh-huh. And
trespassing.
yeah, he's like, "The ring will save me. You can't." And boom, took him down. I was like, "They shot out Jordan."
Dude, clear shot, dude.
Right?
And I love the way when after that they have the hospital stay, and she's batting her eyelashes at him
Yeah,
and
she's reading a
has
book.
him
She stayed at the
handcuffed.
hospital with him.
Yeah, and she's like, you have to let me do this. It's my town. Macon's already running it. And if you show up and he gets full jurisdiction or whatever, and
Mhm.
he's taking over the whole joint. So, um,
She ends up saying two really interesting things in that
yes,
hospital scene. First, she says, like, "Welcome to," where he checks for the ring, like, first thing. But she says, "Who's Sinestro?" And he's like,
yes,
How do you know about Sinestro?" "Well, you were talking his name in your sleep."
yep,
Oh, holy smokes, dude. Talk about guilt. And she ends up, I guess, Wikipediaing Sinestro because that's a thing. And it says like he formed a coup against the Guardians, which he
and
does,
killed one.
and killed one of them. And one of the lanterns had to take him in. I go back to what I said last week of Sinestro trained Hal Jordan. They are the best of friends forever. And when Hal found out that Sinestro has the safest sector because he controls it with fear, that's when he had to turn it into the Guardians. And I think that was the moment that Sinestro was like, "Your Guardians are wrong, and this is how you do it, and you're short sighted." And that's probably when he snapped one of their necks. And that's when Hal probably had to go.
Take him in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the rest is boy. So we go from that, and then she also mentioned that she
He kind of,
worked at Gotham.
yeah, he asked, "Where are you from originally?" And she says, "I'm from Gotham," which is like, oh man, that's so cool. But if you connect it to episode 1,
Yes.
she is on the phone with somebody talking some kind of jurisdiction jargon, police jargon on the phone with somebody. And I think Hal walks in and she's like, "All right, Barb, gotta go." And she hangs up. You're telling me this lady, who obviously went to school to be a cop, is talking to someone in Gotham named Barb? Could that maybe be Barbara Gordon?
Maybe the Oracle,
M-
Batwoman.
maybe she knows her dad, Commissioner James Gordon.
It's a
Little
possibility.
like Salt Bay sprinkles here. Like this is
I see
amazing.
what you're doing, James Gunn. I see what you're doing, and I appreciate it. I appreciate
I do
it. I
too,
truly do.
because again, it just adds layers and layers upon what has come before in the episodes. I can't wait to see what's next. So lo and
Go ahead.
behold, not Atrocitus tells John, like, you need to figure out who this manhunter is, or I'm gonna blow up the town. And he gives him a phone and he says, like, don't tell Jordan. We'll put that little thing out there. And John
Yep.
Stewart eventually makes it back to Jordan,
Yes, he does.
and he throws him his duffel bag that has the lantern in it.
And the suit.
And he opens it, and Jordan's like, why is the suit in here? And again, here is your core difference. John says, I respect that too much. And like, Jordan kind of scoffs at it. And he takes out his lantern and he goes to recharge his ring. And he says the oath really fast.
Yeah, like no passion to it. No
Mm-mm.
like no like pride in saying
Exactly.
in darkest, saying the oath. And
I don't even think I can say that fast. In brightest day and darkest night, no evils have shaped my sight. Like those who worship evil's might, we wear my power, Green Lantern's light. And like
yeah,
he's just getting through it,
yeah.
and that's sad.
For a lantern,
It's
yes,
mm-hmm.
especially for Hal. He's just old, grumpy, and he's done. And he's just he wants to be old Yeller, be taken out and put to pasture,
Yeah.
you know. But
Oh
he
man.
he he talks to John, and John, you could see he's holding on to this information. Aaron Pierre is such an amazing actor. The
Phenomenal.
emotion he shows in his face and just in his eyes when he's looking at the car and he opens the door and he sees the goo and he looks at the front and he sees the front grill's gone and he just realized that Hal doesn't respect me. He
No.
doesn't respect me. He doesn't train me. How can I trust this man? And that's actually we skipped over, which wasn't a big deal, I don't think, but at the diner where he met his booty call. And
I have a suspicion there too, brother.
go ahead.
I don't think she is exactly who she says she is. If Macon is maybe a manhunter, a robotic manhunter, I think she might be part of the Star Sapphire group because she talks about no matter what, love is worth it. And the Star Sapphires, they run on love. Um, Carol Ferris, Hal Jordan's girlfriend from the comic book, she was a Star Sapphire, but the whole core, their central emotion is love. And she was very adamant about no matter what, she loves him. And I think she might be a secret Star Sapphire.
Because we know John Stewart's boo thing is Hawk Girl. Just saying.
Yeah, no, he gets around.
She's already there. She's already there.
Yeah, that is true.
My dude's getting it in. But yeah, go back to that scene, and he just turns around and just gives it to Hal, and he goes, "You know what? They want me to spy on you. They want me to give you 48 hours to find with this locator to let them know. If not, they're destroying this whole town."
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "How do you know about manhunters?" When he mentions manhunters. And you can take it from there, Mike.
And he tells him about the manhunters, and
yeah,
I think it is that moment. I think is the beginning of the building blocks of where Hal and John can actually get on the same page. I don't think by the time Hal dies, or by the time this mission is over, I think Hal will have a greater appreciation for John because he's already blown away by the fact that he brought the bird back. And
yeah.
John and Hal's like, "Well, how'd you do it?" John said, "It's just a bird." And he just
And
lets it
like, what does
disintegrate.
it mean? What does it mean? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know anything from the comic books why the bird would be
No.
significant to him. I don't think it is. I think it was as simple as just he squashed the bird because he can just do that. He has that much mind power and self-control that he can actually do these things and make it happen. So I
And
mean, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, and I think it's Hal's kind of realizing he's probably a little jealous. He's probably a little scared, and he knows he may need Jordan to actually close this case. And he kind of sends Jordan on his way, and Hal takes his bag into the room, He starts ripping out that uniform. You could tell he hates that damn thing. And he
Mm-hmm.
puts it on and he flies. He flies out into space, and they have a wide shot of Oa. Oa is the the planet where the Green Lantern central battery is.
Yeah.
It is a barren world except for around the central battery is where the Guardians and everything are. I don't know how else to describe it.
It was so
But
beautiful on the
so he
screen.
goes there, and he has, if you look, and I was so happy, there's a little green streak behind him. So when he flies into outer space, he has to cover himself with a force field so he can breathe. And they showed it, and I was so happy they did that. That's a nice little touch. But he goes to the prison on Oa, which that is what really resembles the pocket universe from Peacemaker. The when he had that little thing that would lead
Yeah.
into the other dimension. Yeah, the shapes, the colors, everything really resembles that. In fact, when he goes to walk into Sinastro's cell block, it has like an orange field around it, and that was kind of what happened with that. If that thing in Peacemaker isn't a boom tube, then it is connected to the Manhunters in Oa for sure.
Well, they definitely called it a boom tube, didn't they? In the
I don't think they ever did, but it
never...
makes like the boom sound. So like,
okay,
we'll see,
6'7",
right? And we get it. Hal Jordan in full Green Lantern uniform, and he looks in the cell, and there we have Sinestro, and he says, and Jordan's like, "Tell me about the Manhunters," and he says, "They're the second greatest threat to you at this moment right now. Tell me about John." Sinestro knows, and he knows Hal is shook because of it.
And that John's his number one threat.
Yep.
Damn.
And like
Sinestro is
the master of fear and manipulation, and he is planting that seed in Jordan's head.
Yes, he is.
It was beautiful. And again, like, you could say what you want to say, and most of it's true about the Green Lantern movie of Ryan Reynolds. What they did the best was Mark Strong playing Sinestro was phenomenal, and it was a work of art. He played the character perfect. Sinestro is a villain unlike any other. He is beyond Omega level threat. He's on the level of Brainiac. If Brainiac's not going to be the big bad of the entire universe, and hopefully Darkseid's not, Sinestro can be. Sinestro can fill that big bad, almost Thanos level threat.
Yeah, unfortunately for you, brother, I think they Darkseid's the way they're going.
Of course they could. It's the obvious choice, but if they want to build up to something a little different, then the Sinestro core is definitely it.
He can definitely be used going forward because he's still alive. He's just in prison. Yeah. It's 10 years later in 2026 when they find him dead. It's 2027 in Man of Tomorrow. So there's a lot that can happen.
You know what just clicked in my head too? That nobody's really done that they can do? Sinestro happens to be a part of the Legion of Doom. Oh. We get some super friends in here, man. We got Lex Luthor. We need Giganta. We need Black Manta back. We got Riddler. Like
Penguin. Nice.
We need Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy want paints too. Like, just bring in the Legion of Doom, please.
Dude, could you imagine seeing the Legion of Doom in live action?
Dude, the Darth Vader head thing rising out of the swamp. That'd be
James Gunn, please.
Right, and he's
have to wait 20 years, but
build it now. So, and that's how the episode ends. It ends beautifully, and with not as big of a gut punch, but still a shock and a moment that I think I'm going to remember for a long time of seeing Sinestro back on the screen.
I can't wait to see next week's episode.
Dude, it looks like they go into John's story. Yeah, it looks like from the preview, it looks like they go into John's backstory a bit.
I didn't see the preview yet for next episode.
Yeah.
So we're gonna focus on that before we go back into Sinestro for episode 4. And this is supposed to be eight episodes for this season.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I believe 8.
Let me paint a picture for you. I say, let's see, we got 5 more episodes, and they build up this story, and it starts revolving around Sinestro a little bit. And John finally asks Hal, "What happened between you two?" And episode 7 turns out to be the coup, and they have a young Hal Jordan and Sinestro, and they have Hal's training and how
Dude,
Sinestro. Dude, wouldn't that be the coolest episode ever?
dude, that would be amazing. And show like the training and everything with Kilowog and all of them
Right?
in there. That would
They showed none of that, but that would be an amazing episode. In fact, even if that's the last episode, because all of the influencers and reviewers who got to see this only saw the first 7 episodes. They would not release the last episode.
There is 8 episodes, and it ends October 4th.
Okay.
So yeah, and that takes us right into fall.
Give me my Sinestro and Hal episode, please.
That would be. I would love to see a flashback episode of just them.
Yeah,
just
we can
their
do.
history.
We can show the thing picking up Hal from his bed and taking him to Oa, and we can see Hal as a happy-go-lucky.
I wouldn't
rookie.
be surprised if that's the next episode after this Jon Stewart episode, going into their story, then to come back and take off with the last 3 episodes about what's happening on Earth,
Or maybe maybe Macon tells the story to John, and Hal doesn't tell it. Who knows? It would be a million amazing things. This is the best part. Speculation in the best way, my friend. I cannot wait until next week. I cannot wait to see episode 3. I can't wait to talk about it.
You and me both, brother. You and me both.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this ship up here and say until next week. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Geeks at the Nerd Table. Please feel free to follow Jose at babygorillacomics.com. They have a website where you can. That's amazing.
You can shop. You can shop all our toys at babygorillacomics.com. Make sure you put babygorillacomics.com. It takes you right to the website. But you can shop all our figures, WWE, anime, Transformers, you name it, we probably have it. We have a very large selection. So please definitely check us out on our website and at our shop. We're open 6 days a week. We're only closed on Monday, and we usually are open 12 to 7.
And my friend, you also have a bit of a radio thing going on.
Oh,
that sounds like it's continuing. What would that be?
Yeah. So I was a guest on Rumba 106.1 in Philadelphia. It's a Spanish radio station. It's Spanglish. They speak English and Spanish. But I was a guest for Gilberto Gonzalez on the Pulse of the Community. Basically, it's a segment that they do weekly to talk about, what's going on in the Spanish culture in our community, just to let people know that there is still a large Spanish population in Pennsylvania, especially Puerto Rican, Dominican, Brazilian, Costa Rican, everything. So I was invited. They found out that I exist, and Gilberto found out I exist. He wanted to interview me because I'm one of the very few, if not only, Puerto Rican-owned comic book stores, especially in Pennsylvania. So, thank you.
You schooled on the pull list system, dude.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
So he asked me to go on. It was a great interview. You could check it on Rumba 106.9, Gilberto Gonzalez show. It's called the Pulse of the Community, but it's Spanish, Pulse Comunidad. And they actually asked me back to do a weekly segment or bi-weekly segment where I'll talk about the comic books that are coming up that week. So I did my first segment this past Sunday. The interview was the week before that. So you can check both things out on iHeartRadio.com or his podcast, YouTube, everything.
Nice. Congratulations, dude. Spread the word. Buy a comic book, people. Buy a comic book.
There's so many. Oh, Midnight. Oh my God. I'm not going to get into it right now, but if you check out the interview, I go into the Midnight Universe from Marvel that's coming out, and I am so excited for this universe.
It was a beautiful interview. You did that. You did Kirkman. You did. Go check it out, people, please. And be sure to check out GM Productions. If you think you can sing, if you think you can't sing, George will make sure it happens. He will use his Green Lantern power.
9 to 5. Dolly Parton. Sorry we didn't open up the show with that, but yes, today we lost Dolly Parton.
That is true,
and she was
truly inspirational.
Everything she was. She was gorgeous. She could sing. She was just
her man was a
large. She was such a larger than life.
He gave up that for Jolene. Are you kidding me?
And just I remember all her songs, well, a lot of her songs, especially with Kenny Rogers, and they're back together again. So making beautiful music up there in heaven. So
rest in power.
Said, rest in power, rest in peace. And to everybody out there, please like, subscribe, share. We love what we do. We don't get paid for it. It's just out of fun because we're just old nerds. So
exactly.
Thanks for staying tuned. And we'll see you soon, guys. Have a good one.
Adios.
Deuces.